Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good night for everyone who listened for this presentation, or good morning, or afternoon, or good night to the lecturer of this subject, which is Pancasila education. So now or today, I'll be presenting a topic that is very important in maintaining our national identity amidst the growth of science and technology, which is titled in my presentation Pancasila as the basic value of science development. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Ipan Gunawan, and I hope these presentations gives us all a better understanding of how science should evolve in line with our nation's ideology, which is Pancasila. Okay, so at first, I will start this presentation with the context and the role of Pancasila in scientific development. So the first point is if tech has rapidly transformed society. What do I mean by that? So in today's era, science and technology, or we can call it IPTEK, ilmu pengetahuan dan teknologi, are growing rapidly and transforming our society. But this transformation must not go out of control. So this is the role of the cultures and religion. So the second point is culture and religion influence its path. Culture and religion still influence the direction of science. Pancasila plays a crucial role here. The third point, we can see that Pancasila guides ethical scientific development. Pancasila, it acts as a moral compass guiding scientific development ethically and ensuring it remains rooted in Indonesia's identity. And the fourth point is prevent secularism and align with national ideology. So rather than drifting into secular or purely pragmatic thinking. So let me give you the example. So for example, when developing an artificial intelligence, or we can call it AI in nowadays, or biotechnology, so scientists must ensure the research does not conflict with religious values or harm society. Pancasila reminds us to prioritize humanity and morality. Okay, so we will go for the next topic, which is talk about the concept of Pancasila in scientific development. So, according to Pancasila, the development of science and technology must be include four criteria, right? So, the first one is aligned with Pancasila's values. Of course, science must follow Pancasila's principle, such as we already know about respecting to God, humanity, unity, democracy, and also justice for all. For example, medical research should not harm human dignity or go against religious belief. And then the second point here, the second criteria, is integrate these values into practice. So Pancasila values should be applied in how science is developed and used. What do I mean by that? So, for example, online learning platforms should promote teamwork and respect diversity. And the third criteria is reflect how Indonesians think and act. So, technology must match Indonesian lifestyles and ways of thinking. So, for example, something like apps for farmers should consider local farming traditions, not just foreign methods. And then the fourth one or the last criteria for scientific development is be rooted in Indonesian culture and ideology. So basically, science should protect and promote our culture and national identity. For example, if we develop something like digital platforms, so that digital platforms need to be help preserve traditional arts like batik or maybe gamelan, like traditional culture in Indonesia. Okay, next is the urgency of Pancasila in scientific development. So this is the next topic. So nowadays, science and technology often bring both positive and negative impacts, right? On the one hand, if tech helps us progress, but on the other hand, it can lead to environmental damage. So this is the first point. The second one is disruption of human relationship. The third one is loss of core values due to Western influence. So the urgency of Pancasila is to act as a filter to ensure that scientific development benefits everyone ethically and responsibly. Responsibly. For example, social media is a product of science, but without ethics, it can spread hate speech or hoaxes. So Pancasila reminds developers and users to maintain harmony and truth while using their social media or technological development in social media, something like that. The next one is the necessary of Pancasila in science development. So this is already explained before. The iptec are causing environmental damage, and Pancasila guide and control iptec to prevent pragmatic thinking and behavior to the Indonesian people. And then local wisdom is being replaced by global lifestyle. So Pancasila guide the development of science to be or to avoid the Indonesian culture by replaced with the global lifestyle, something like that. Okay, so the next one is talk about Pancasila history sources in science development. Okay, so the historical basis of Pancasila in science development comes from the fourth paragraph of the preamble of the 1945 Constitution, or in Indonesia we can call it uh, Pembukaan Undang-Undang Dasar tahun 1945. So the praise is um, pronounced mencerdaskan kehidupan bangsa. So that words or that praise shows the importance of science and education development. This must be guided by Pancasila values, including belief in the one true God and other values. Okay. The next topic is talk about the sociological source of Pancasila. Pancasila is also based on sociological realities. Indonesian people highly value divinity and then also humanity. So when science goes against this, like cloning without ethical considerations, it's often rejected by society. For example, when a foreign pharmaceutical company tests drugs, or we can call it obat, in Indonesia without consent or respect for local culture, society protests. Pancasila reminds us to always prioritize dignity and life. We can see that the point here is the sociological source of Pancasila lies in the people's concern for divinity and humanity. You know what did I said before, right? When science and technology oppose these values of the people, and then they are often to reject the science development if it's not um, aligned with their values, something like that. Okay, so the next topic is talk about the political source of Pancasila. Politically, Pancasila is applied through national policies. As B.J. Habibie once said, which is our third president in Indonesia, so applying Pancasila through policies helps actualize its values in real life. For example, policies like making Indonesia 4.0 is to aim to push technological innovation, but they also stress the importance of ethics and national values. So what can I conclude here? The point is the political source can be seen by various state policies or kebijakan. So, as President Habibie or the third president of Indonesia in 2011 state that applying Pancasila in state policies is a way to actualize its values in life, encourage intellectuals to further collaborate its values, something like that. Okay, so the next one is the challenge while using Pancasila in science development. Despite all of this, well, what did I explain before, right? Despite all of that, Pancasila faces many challenges, such as the first one is capitalism dominating the world, and the second one is globalization weakening our competitiveness. The third one is consumerism making us dependent on foreign markets. And then this is why we must constantly research Pancasila's role in the face of these global pressures. For example, instead of blindly following global fashion or digital trends, we should innovate based on local needs and values, like promoting eco-friendly batik with modern technology, or we can say it mempromosikan produk yang ramah lingkungan bagi batik dengan teknologi yang modern seperti itu. Okay, so I think that's it for from me. To conclude, Pancasila is not just a national ideology. It's a foundation that ensures science serves the people, not just profit on progress. And with Pancasila, science development in Indonesia can be ethical, culturally rooted, and truly beneficial for everyone in Indonesia or Indonesian citizens. Thank you for listening this presentation. If you have any question, you can contact me or you can ask me in the classroom. So I hope this presentation will be insightful and then beneficial for you. And finally, I would say thank you for listening this presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.